Some new info just came out about Destiny 2's first episode, which is releasing sooner than you might think. And we just got some details about how the story of the Light and Dark saga is going to play out when the Final Shape expansion arrives. By now, some of you may have heard that the Final Shape's new raid is launching on June 7th, which is 3 days after the expansion launches. For those not competing in the Day 1 raid race, this isn't going to make much of a difference for you, but for those that are, this is going to be a pretty tight window for you to prepare for contest mode. Completing the Legendary campaign should work as it has for the past 2 expansions, which means when you complete it, you'll get all the gear you need to reach the power level required to compete during the 48-hour raid race. To learn why the raid is releasing so quickly this time around, we can look to the current project lead for Destiny 2's expansions on Twitter. Katarina took to Twitter to explain this decision, and it has to do with how they want to deliver the game's story this year. She says, "I want to talk about why the Final Shape raid is going live shortly after release on June 7th. We know this is a tight turnaround and wanted to share some context on why we made this decision. Back in August, we said that finishing the campaign would not be the grand finale of the Light and Darkness saga. You'll be facing off against the Witness in the raid, and for non-raiders, there will be an opportunity for everyone to experience the conclusion sometime after the raid. The Final Shape expansion is different. The additional content in the Paleheart post-campaign and unlocking the raid for everyone are important for getting a cohesive, satisfying story experience. When raid day arrives, no matter if you choose to go in for contest mode in the first 48 hours or you wait for normal mode to unlock, in order to experience the story linearly and as intended, you need to have the campaign completed and finish the quest wildcard. Prioritize those. Episode Echo's story, the beginning of the next journey, starts in week 2. So based on this, it sounds like you might get some stuff spoiled or be a little confused if you were to jump into the raid without doing anything else, which makes sense at least for the campaign, but I guess the wildcard quest also provides additional context to the story as well. And Episode Echoes, which is the first of 3 releasing as part of Destiny 2's newest annual pass, is now releasing in week 2 of the Final Shape, which is Tuesday, June 11th. I had been expecting this to release a few months later, like they did with the Black Armory DLC following Forsaken, but it seems like the story of Echoes was designed to be a direct sequel to the Final Shape campaign instead of some one-off story DLC. This also probably means that if you want to continue experiencing the story after you beat the Final Shape campaign and raid, the annual pass, or at least the first episode, is going to be a requirement. Episode 1 is looking to be our replacement for whatever season would normally launch alongside an expansion, except it's going to last a bit longer. It includes all the same stuff you've come to expect from a normal season, as well as a new exotic mission, which I'm looking forward to, but who knows at what point within the 4-month period that will be released. So right now we're looking at the Final Shape launching on June 4th, the raid launching on June 7th, and the first episode launching on June 11th. Sounds like plenty of stuff to chew through up front, which you will not find me complaining about considering the Elden Ring DLC launches 3 weeks after the Final Shape, and I don't know about you, but I do not want to miss that. Honestly, I'm fine with this release schedule, and it kind of makes sense why they'd want to get the next chapter of the story in front of people's faces so quickly, so that it isn't as easy to step away from the game after you complete Final Shape. I know a lot of people are holding out just long enough to finish Final Shape and were planning to dip out after that, but of course that's not going to help Bungie in any way, so introducing the next conflict or villain seems like the best option. I just hope the story doesn't move too quickly to the point where it feels like the characters immediately forgot about the events of the campaign and the raid. I think the best case scenario is if they execute it like they did in Forsaken, where defeating Riven began the whole curse cycle storyline, and the visits with Marasov, which I loved. I've heard that the Witness has some pretty big ties to the Vex, and it would be cool if Episode 1 dives heavily into some more Vex lore. Maybe we'll finally get a Vex baddie as cool as Atheon again, instead of just Panoptes or the Undying Mid. Anyway, thanks for watching guys and gals, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all I've got, see you in the next one.